On July 1st, 2025, the third documented interstellar object was seen for the first time. It was named 3I Atlas. Our solar system is relatively flat when seen in 3D, well, except for Pluto. Thank you very much, I hope you're proud. And unlike other comets, this one came in at a very aligned angle, faster than usual, with an unusually high amount of CO2, which, by the way, is what most animals exhale. It passed extremely close not to one, but two planets. And NASA, conveniently, just happened to be partially shut down due to budget approvals not passing in time. Well, nothing more to talk about. Aliens, the truth is out there. Wake up, puppets of the system. Okay, let's calm down for a second. So it can't be an alien ship sending probes to study us like we're their zoo? Well, maybe it can. But you're looking at this completely wrong. Just because something could be real, and this is very important, doesn't mean it is real. After many centuries developing the scientific method, the Austrian philosopher Karl Popper, to embellish the story a little, was sitting under a tree when an apple fell on his head and thought, "Scientific knowledge doesn't advance by confirming new laws, but by discarding the ones that contradict experience." Popper called this process falsification. This implies that for a hypothesis to be scientifically valid, it must be falsifiable. That is, there must be ways to at least attempt to refute it through experimentation. And, with luck in the future, after being sufficiently tested and with no equally reliable alternative found, it may advance to the level of a theory. So, if Cousin Rooster says the alleged comet accelerated because it's a spacecraft with engines, science can respond. Actually, it's common for objects to speed up due to inertia when swinging around something massive, or simply by literally farting, expelling gas as the ice sublimates near the sun. Through experience, we can see if other explanations are possible. But saying that this month Capricorns will be more vulnerable to workplace disputes because Mars is in conjunction with Saturn. Explain to me how that could ever be refuted. You just want to believe it. I don't want to get angry. But do you know zodiac signs are off by 2,000 years? Capricorns today were actually born with the constellation Sagittarius behind the sun. If two people are born at the exact same second at 11 p.m. on January 19th, but one is in the UK and the other in Germany where it's already midnight, does that mean one is Capricorn and the other isn't? Does destiny seriously care about our man-made time zones? What does the birth chart of a Nepali look like when their time zone is GMT plus 545? But hey, if I connect the dots of the planets and it makes a fun little shape, clearly the universe is revealing my future. For a hypothesis to be falsifiable, you have to reach it by validating small steps. If an unidentified object is seen in the sky, you start by analyzing the light it emits to see if it's matter or an optical effect. Then, determine what it's made of. Then analyze whether its movement can be natural. Compare it to similar cases. And only then, once you reach step 100, do you have enough data to make your conjecture. If Tucker and Dale are returning home drunk in the middle of the night and see something strange, hey, something I don't understand in the sky, obviously aliens, and they just jump from step 1 to step 100. That's not even a valid hypothesis. Even if, and let this be very clear, even if they end up being right in the end. With that mindset, it's no surprise that any conspiracy theory is considered valid and people start panicking just because a comet passes by. I'm not talking about now. Yes, this already happened. I'm talking about 1910, when Halley's Comet flew by. Massive demonstrations fueled by the belief that its tail contained toxic cyanide that would poison humanity. And of course, the elites were hiding it. People were buying anti-comet masks and pills. Some even sealed their doors and windows. Ooh, a mass vaccination campaign. Obviously a plan by the government and the elites to gradually make people sick and control the population. Of course, I'm talking about the smallpox vaccination in 1850, with massive protests for that exact reason. Yeah, they're not even original anymore. That's why Popper's concept of falsification is so useful, because it gives us ways to refute a hypothesis, instead of only searching for data that confirms it. Our psychology comes flawed right out of the box. If we only focus on what we want to believe, we contaminate ourselves with our own ideas, and it affects our bias. Bias is defined like this: the inclination or slant of something to one side. In psychology, a personal tendency or preference that distorts the perception of reality, resulting in a subjective judgment. And that makes us say and do a lot of dumb things to reassure ourselves. Like connecting unrelated data points and grouping them into your narrative as if that proved anything. I don't know, something like, imagine Jeff Bezos invited the leader of the United Flat Earth Association onto his spaceship. And when he saw that Earth isn't flat, he started digging and discovered that Jeff Bezos owns a VR subsidiary and holds stock in a pharmaceutical company researching hallucinogens. See, I never went to space. They drugged me and fooled me with virtual reality.
The only possible meaning.
Or dismissing any information from official sources because it's all propaganda and fake. But hey, what you read on cousinroosterknowsthetruth.blogspot.com, that is pure truth. Wake up. The point is just to be contrary. I swear if someday...
They've finally declassified the secret documents, and it turns out they really were hiding that the Earth is flat. This historic milestone has proven...
The moon landing was fake. How could there already be a camera there? Dude, through extremely careful planning with the camera built into the module and broadcasting at 10 frames per second to save bandwidth. So they pull off the greatest conspiracy in human history and don't think some is going to catch them with that evidence. Why don't you Wikipedia the Dunning-Kruger effect? A cognitive bias where people with limited knowledge or competence in a specific domain greatly overestimate their own skills. Just saying. And then the peak, obsessing over something and seeing it everywhere, turning everything into a message from the universe and spiraling into nonsense by twisting the logic to incomprehensible levels. It's a hidden message, don't you see it? You have to read the first word of each video title. Yeah, they've got you all figured out. Psychology actually has a detailed profile explaining how you think. It's called apophenia, defined as the perception of meaningful patterns or connections in random or unrelated data or events. Unrelated because your bias only lets you see and remember what you want, like when you dreamed about Cousin Rooster, whom you hadn't seen in months, and then you ran into him on the bus, confirming for you that your dreams are messages from the future. Ignoring all the times you also dreamed about him but didn't run into him. Because let me tell you how many times that happened. Many. But since you didn't run into him, you didn't store it in your memory or give it the slightest importance. And honestly, probably for the best. Those two together could only mean trouble. Making hypotheses is essential for advancing knowledge. Thanks to those who thought differently and challenged the established ideas, progress was possible. And sure, more than one crazy person has turned out to be right in the end. But we need to understand that the knowledge of some is not equal to the ignorance of others. And it's very easy to get lost in faulty biases and baseless hypotheses. Time will tell what kind of new hypotheses will change the world. It's the pinnacle moment of universal history. The first contact between two intelligent civilizations. We must choose with absolute caution how and with whom we'll share this glorious experience. Okay, got it.